Hi guys, I'm going to be making vegan sloppy joes, for which I'm using soya chunks. I put about a cup in here, boiling water, boil maybe like 10 minutes. I put a little bit of vegan chicken stock in here, and I apologize, I might not fully measure, just going to go with what feels right, but I'll try my best to give you guys a comprehensive recipe. So soy chunks, and I'll show you what comes next. So what you're going to do is drain this, and because some people have complained, and I notice it as well, soy chunks have a certain smell to them. So to get rid of that, I'm going to drain this, sort of squeeze them out, and I've got some boiling water ready just to make this process faster. I'm going to reboil them with new water and a little bit of beef stock, vegan beef stock. Also, rinse your chunks. Give them a bit of a squeeze as well, just to get out any excess flavor. So to the pan I've added, and this has a marking, so you might not be able to see it, half a liter of boiling water from the kettle, and I've just added about half a beefless beef cube, and this brand is, I'll show you, this is Grace beef flavored beef cube. You're just going to add your chunks back to the pan, and I'm going to let this boil as long as maybe 5 minutes, just to sort of infuse some of that beef flavor. And also, while I'm doing that, I'm going to cut my onion. So I just took a small red onion and I've diced it. I have probably about 1/3 of a cup of onion. Alright, so I'm just going to pour some oil into my pan, maybe that's like a couple tablespoons, and I saw a trick, and I'll see if this makes a difference just in terms of cooking and softening your onions, and that is to add a little bit of baking soda. So I'm maybe going to put like 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking soda and mix that up. Okay, that's about 1/8 of a teaspoon. I'm just going to mix that in there. Maybe a bit too much oil, but I'm also going to be cooking the meat in here, so that'll work. Oh, I'm going to add another thing to the sloppy joe mix. I could do it after, but let me do some now. I'm going to add some of this Maggi or Maggi seasoning. I love this stuff. It really just amplifies the flavor. So that's a bunch of drops in there. Maybe also when I'm going to blend this up. What's the word? Shred this. So maybe when I shred it, I'm going to see if I need any extra flavor as well. Remember, this is a sloppy joe, so it's going to get lots of good flavor from the other stuff. Yeah, I just want to, create a nice base meat that has a bit of flavor to it. Okay, the oil is starting to sizzle. So it's time for the onions to go in the pan. Okay, wow, I have to say, I've never seen my onions that I've cooked without a little bit of baking soda ever sort of look like this. So they definitely have softened quickly. Yeah. So it's something about the alkaline nature of baking soda that breaks down the onion walls, that allows it to soften faster. You can find some information about it. I'm not a scientist, but it definitely works. So I'm just going to put this to the side as I get my meat ready. Oh wow, look at them. They are definitely much softer than anything I've ever seen. And I lied, I'm going to add 2 minced garlic cloves to that. So I'm going to get that in the pan. Just going to give a mix till fragrant. And I've never really seen red onions turn this brown, so this is obviously the work of the baking soda, which works to quickly soften those. Okay, maybe a trick for my mushroom soup when I need to saute my onions for quite some time. Okay, I'm going to get this off the stove, and I'm going to get my meat ready. So I have drained the meat again, squeeze out any excess water, and then get it into your food processor. If you want, you could take the time to just hand dice this, but food processor is easier. Depending on the size of your food processor, you might need to do this in batches. I have a little one here. I have a bigger one too, but the little one's easier to just pull out. I'm just gonna start pulsing. Typically, you use ground meat, so hey, feel free to make this with Impossible or Beyond. That'll be fantastic. Even tofu. Soy curls make a great sloppy joe, and I don't even tend to mince it then. But I figured soy chunks can be hit or miss, but something like this where you're going to infuse a lot of flavor, it might be a great way to use a soy chunk protein. So this is what it looks like. And at this point, you know what, maybe I'll add a little bit more of the Maggi, just calling it Maggi seasoning. Just to give it, I'd say that Maggi gives it like that umami flavor. Let's give it a bit of a mix. I feel like I have maybe at least a cup and a half, if not two. I'm just gonna put it in your pan. Doing this while holding my phone, so. And you're gonna just start to saute everything together. I had it on medium, maybe I'll put the pan a little higher. You're gonna add, we're gonna put ketchup in here, red wine vinegar, vegan Worcestershire sauce. Yes, they have it. So, I'll be back. Okay, so I have put half a cup of ketchup in here to start. You can always add more if it's not enough. Now I might want to add some spice to this too. I will see how I feel. And while this half a cup seems okay so far, I'm going to add my other things and then I'll see what I might want to add to this. So I'm going to put a tablespoon of Worcestershire, half a tablespoon of Worcestershire, why can't I speak right now? You know what I'm talking about. And half a tablespoon of red wine vinegar. Let me get that. Okay, so that's half a tablespoon of the Worcestershire sauce. Let me show you which one I'm using. It's just a basic cheap one. A lot of times the cheap ones are vegan. And I'm gonna get the red wine vinegar in there as well. I'm gonna turn the heat down also. I'm gonna add one, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna just do this. You definitely taste the sweetness from the ketchup. I'm just adding, let's call it another half a tablespoon. You can just amplify the flavors as you like. I really want to put a little bit of my hot pepper in here. Just putting a bit more, just to make it a little more acidic. But you know, at that point, like how I just did, you can taste it, see if the flavors are like as you like. And let me just do a little taste here. Okay, yeah. I think the extra red wine vinegar, Worcestershire, I can't speak. I think that made a difference. Now, I do like the Maggi seasoning, but I also have this Knorr seasoning. So good. Love this. I'm just going to put a bit of this as well. This also gives like beautiful umami type flavor to it. You don't need a lot. I think this is good for me. Now I'm going to get some coleslaw. I have the cabbage. I'm just going to make coleslaw with some vegan mayo. Top this with some vegan mayo and some pickles. Okay. It's good for me. And these soy chunks, with all this flavor and having been washed out, no clue they're soy chunks. Like, they don't have that soy chunk flavor to them. Really, really good. Huh. What was I thinking? I'm like, there's something I want to just do with this to make it a little different, and I forgot. I want to give it a bit of a tangy barbecue sauce flavor. So the ketchup gives it a unique flavor with some sweetness. But right here, I'm putting about I'd say that's a quarter cup. Maybe not quite a quarter cup. That's probably 1/8 of a cup of barbecue sauce. Yeah, I think that's gonna make this exactly how I want it. When I've made this before, I've used barbecue sauce, so here I'm trying to like just do it with like the ketchup method, which I've seen. But as good as it tasted, I'm like, it could be a little better. And I think it's just that barbecue sauce. And maybe I could put a little more. I'll see. Let me give it a little taste. Oh yeah. Okay. Now we're there. This is delicious. The barbecue sauce just gives it the smokiness. Yeah, I don't think that was a quarter cup. I'm gonna say, guys, that was probably, if nothing else, it might have been 3 tablespoons. What's a quarter cup? Might have been about 3 tablespoons versus a full quarter cup, which is 4 tablespoons. This is ready for the coleslaw and to make. Yum, yum, yum. So I've just made a bit of coleslaw. So I took the cabbage, I added Hellmann's vegan mayo and a little bit of balsamic vinegar, I like to add that a little sweetness to the coleslaw. And this is enough, so I might put it on the sloppy joes. And I've got a few fries cooking, and yeah, I'll be back. All right, so I'm just building my sloppy joe. I put a little mustard on the bottom bun. I put a little bit of the sloppy joe meat, then some pickles. I've got more of the sloppy joe meat, and I'm gonna top it with coleslaw. Okay, so now I have the coleslaw on top. Let's just take a moment to look at this sloppy joe. That's looking good. I toasted the bun, and there we go. That's what it looks like. Okay guys, this is phenomenal. An absolutely delicious sloppy joe, vegan, made with soy chunks, so that makes it cheap, inexpensive, let's say. But this would be fabulous with Beyond. It would be incredible with Impossible. Try it with tofu if you want. But definitely try it. Okay guys, that's all for now. See you in the next video.